Hello guys, in this video we are going to see what is Transformed Elevate Wings1, what it aims at, and the process to become the digital or innovative cadre associate. So let's start with this video. So what is Elevate Wings1? Basically, Elevate Wings1 is a merit-based exam which provides a good linkage between your learning and career. It provides transparent opportunities for associates to show their talent and boost their career and compensation. Apart from that, it provides a directed path toward your goal to become digital or innovator cadre associate. Now, what it aims at? It aims to tag associates as a high talent professional so that they can boost their career as well as compensation. It also aims to accelerate overall improvement of associate so that they can take higher roles and responsibilities. And the most important thing, it aims to establish a culture of continuous learning and aspirations for accelerated path. So let's start with the process of Elevate Wings1. So the first step is to accept invitation from Elevate Wings1 NOMI community. And so if you are a TCS associate, then you know that there is a website called NOMI, and you will be auto enrolled with this Elevate Wings1 NOMI community. And if you are not auto enrolled with this NOMI community, then please contact with your SPOC. Now comes next step, which is to enroll in the courses. So if you are IT associate, then you will be auto enrolled with iEvolve course ID 15205, and if you are ITIS associate, then you will be auto enrolled with iEvolve course ID 15206. Under the My Learning tab in iEvolve, there is certification tab, and there you can see that uh, you will be auto enrolled with either of these courses. Now the next step is associates decide what track combinations they want to pursue to reach milestone stages. Now there are some ifs and words and conditions to become a digital or innovator cadre associate, and I will be sharing all of these with you in the upcoming slides, so be with me guys. The next step is associates complete their respective tracks learning, and after that they have to give proctored assessment exams to clear tracks with either distinction or pass. As I told you, there are some conditions, so either with distinction or with passing percentage you have to clear the proctored assessment. And the last step is when you clear the milestone stages, you will get rewarded. Now, what is transformed version of Elevate Wings1? What is transformed in Elevate Wings1? If we talk about the eligibility, so up to C1 cadre associate, they can give Elevate Wings1 proctored exam. If you are a Y or YZ, YD, C1Y or C1 cadre associate, then you are eligible to give the proctored assessment. And one more condition is also there, which is your band, as well as if you are a fresher, then the rating. I'll be discussing that in upcoming slide. Now if we talk about the cycle, there are there will be 3 cycle per year. So there will be 3 proctored exam per year, which will be in May, August and November months. Now the number of attempts. Now if you want uh, to get the distinction in tracks, so there are unlimited number of attempts for you, so no restriction on cycle count also, so you can give proctored assessment in these 3 cycles also, though there are no restriction on cycle count also. Associate can take up the assessment until they fall under the grade eligibility criteria. Grade eligibility criteria I will be discussing with you in upcoming slides. Now the total tracks to be done is only 5, and these 5 tracks are one tech track, under which there are 9 subtrack, then one business skills track, one process track, one art of articulation track, one unit elective or DCA tech track. And now there are only 2 milestones, which are digital and innovator. Now, if we talk about the reward rule in transformed version of Elevate Wings1. So, if your band slips to C, then TSLP incentives would only be paused. Okay, would only be paused. It will not be reset. It will be paused. And if you get a or B band in the subsequent year, then your incentive will again start. Now, TSLP incentives will be uh, reset only if you get 2 consecutive C's or you get a D. Okay. Now if we talk about the proctored assessment prerequisite. So the first and foremost prerequisite is your latest work performance band. If you have A or B band, or if you are a fresher, then if you have 4 or 5 rating, then uh, you will be eligible for the Elevate Wings1 proctored exam with below these 3 conditions. So these 3 conditions also have. So we can put or between these 3 conditions. I'll be explaining. So either learning completion. So learning completion under each track or module in IWAL should be done by you. Either this part should be happen, or clearing the track assessment. If you are going with direct path, you don't want to learn the whole course, then you should clear the track assessment. What is track assessment? Track assessment are some assessments under the courses that you have to give if you are going for direct path for giving the proctored assessment, and it will be available for only few tracks, so you have to look for that. And the last thing is, if you are self declaring the competencies, then you will be eligible for proctored assessment, and self declaring competencies are only available for core tracks. What are core tracks? I'll be discussing with you in upcoming slides. Now transformed for better. Previously it was 720 hours when it started. Now then they reduced it to 450 hours, and now it's just 200 hours. And when they started, there were 21 tracks, and after that they reduced it to 12 tracks, and now there are only 5 tracks. So these are the tracks that I was saying about. So core tracks and unit electives. So under core tracks, there are business skill track, articulation track, process track, and technology track. So T7 and T9 tracks are special. T7 track are especially for IT associate, and T9 track is especially for ITIS associate. No, it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that if you are an IT associate, you cannot take the T9 track. Yeah, you can, but it is suggested that T7 track is for IT associates and T9 track for ITIS associate. And DCA tech tracks also falls under core tracks. Now, unit electives. So unit electives for ITIS and unit electives for IT. So you have to choose any one track from any of the below unit electives. These are the unit electives if you are ITIS associates. What are ServiceNow, which are ServiceNow, Service Management, Agile Data Center, Digital Workspace, Software Defined Network, Intelligent Automation. And if you are IT associate, then you have to choose any one track from any of the below unit electives, which are SAP and Oracle. Now, these are the track details. So if you are going to give the proctored assessment for process track, then you have to complete this track. There is only one track in process, and you have to complete both of the courses, which is process review curriculum and agile for practitioner assessment, in order to complete the track one. Now if you talk about the technical tracks, there are 9 tracks, T1 to T9, and you have to complete only one track if you want to give exam with that. But there is one condition that they have imposes, which is if you want to give proctored assessment for more than one track, for more than one technical track, then at max there will be two. So at max you can give a proctored assessment for two tech tracks. Okay, and as I told you, T7 and T9 are special tracks. T7 is specifically for IT associates, which is the course ID is 15205, and which is cybersecurity, and T9 is specifically for ITIS associates, which is OS Foundation. Now this is the business track, and business track contains two track, which is a business skill track 1 curriculum and business skill track 2 curriculum. And under business skill track 1 curriculum there are 3 courses, B2, B3, B5, and similarly in business skills track 2 curriculum there are 3 courses, B4, B6, B10. Now comes articulation track. So there is only one track in articulation, and under articulation there is 5 courses. First is core articulation, teams without borders, connect curriculum, art of articulation, first time right communication, and the below 3 you can see. So you can note down these courses. This is the process and technical tracks, and this is the business and articulation track. Now DCA tech track list, this is special for some associates. Okay, so DCA tech tracks are also now part of Wings1 assessment, apart from TSLP tech list, which when they started there were no DCA tech tracks, but now DCA tech tracks are there, and these DCA tech tracks are added based on demand from the units. So there are some units in the TCS like ServiceNow unit, Windows, Azure, database, Microsoft, Azure, and other units. So they have demanded for these DCA tech tracks. Now associates can take up the assessment directly for these tracks. There is no learning required. Okay. Now these are the TCA tech tracks. There are 21 tech tracks. So we can say that 21 units, we can divide it in 21 units. So you can note down or take a screenshot of this. After that, now August 22 proctored assessment. This now the important thing came. Now please listen me very carefully. There are 3 paths by which you can give August 22 proctored assessment. First is learning path, second is direct path, and third is self-declaring competencies path. I'll be explaining these 3 in upcoming slides. Now direct path and self-declare path. If you can read, let me read, like if associate is proficient enough in the required skill, they can directly take up a prerequisite assessment which will be tagged as a part of their curricula, and upon clearance, associate would be directly eligible for the final proctored assessment. So basically what it means is, if you are going with direct path, then you have to give a prerequisite assessment before giving the proctored assessment. There are prerequisite assessment for some tech tracks. You have to give that, and if you clear that prerequisite assessment, then you will be eligible for proctored assessment. Now comes self declaration process. Now, if associate feels that they are proficient, they may directly go ahead and self-declare the competency for that track and pick up the final proctored assessment for that track. Corporate will post a blog in Nomi community with details of competency IDs for self-declaration for TSLP tracks in the coming few weeks. Now, if you are very sure that you are good with any of the track, then you can self-declare competency in iEvolve, and these competency IDs you will get in Nomi community. So be in touch with your SPOC, or just read blogs and other things daily in Nomi. Now, learning path and direct path. Learning path is simple, guys. You have to complete the courses, which is course completion. After that, you have to give the curricular level assessment. Curricular level assessment is nothing but it is some internal assessment in these courses, the courses that you are going to learn. Okay, and after that, you will be eligible for the final proctored assessment. And direct path, you have to give curricular level assessment, which is under some courses there are some curricular level assessment, and if you clear that curricular level assessment, you will be eligible for final proctored assessment. Now, Wings1 change summary. What is change in Wings1? So content. Curricula has been significantly reduced, and learning hours has been reduced from 450 to 200 hours. And the direct path associates, you can give proctored assessments by going with direct path, as I explained you in previous slide. And DCA tech tracks have been which is a good thing, for us. Number of milestones have been reduced to only two, which is digital and innovator. Now, Wings1 milestone digital, you how you can become a digital cadre associate. Now comes the important slide. So first comes the eligibility. So if you are a smart or ninja associate with high work performance and learning completion. High work performance is nothing but your band, either it is A or B, or if you are a fresher, then it would be 4 or 5. And learning completion, I told you in previous slide, there are three paths: learning completion, direct path, or self declaration path. Rewards, incentives equivalent to digital cadre associate. So if you clear these two below tracks, then you will get incentives equivalent to digital cadre associates. So what is track? What is these two tracks? So first track should be tech with distinction. First track, note down, first track should be tech with distinction, and tech would either be TSLP or DCA. Okay, and the second track, if it is non-tech track, then it should be with distinction, and if it is tech, and if it is unit elective or DCA, then it should be with distinction, and if it is tech, which is TSLP, it can be a pass or distinction. I will be explaining these two tracks in upcoming slide in more easier way. Just be with me, guys, and please note, guys, these 2 points. Both tracks can be TSLP tracks. Yes, it can be possible. You can give proctor's assessment for two tech tracks, two TSLP tech tracks. Both tracks can be two TSLP tech tracks, and both tracks can't be only DCA tech tracks. Okay, both tracks can't be only DCA tech tracks, as well as both tracks can't be only unit elective tech tracks. Now I think you are clear with this slide. Now I'm going with next. Wings1 Milestone Digital. So smart to ninja, you will going to be a digital cadre associate, as I explained you in previous slide. These are all the things which are written. You can take up a screenshot. Okay, I am explaining this in next slide. In next slide. Okay, so if you are going with TSLP track, suppose if you get a distinction with a TSLP tech track, then in order to get the digital, in order to get the digital cadre, uh, either either you get one TSLP tech passed or distinction, or one core non-tech distinction, which is process, art of articulation or business skill, or one unit elective distinction, or one DCA tech distinction. Okay, means if you get a distinction in one TSLP tech track, then in order to get the digital cadre, either you get uh, again means one more TSLP tech pass or distinction, not only distinction, either pass or distinction. But if you are going with core non-tech core non-tech, which is process, art of articulation, business skill, then you should get distinction. Or if you are going with unit elective or DCA, then also you should get the distinction. So these are the combination. Okay, similarly with DCA tech track, if you have a distinction in DCA tech track, then in order to get the digital cadre, you should get TSLP tech distinction or pass. If you are getting distinction or pass in TSLP with DCA tech distinction, then you will get the digital cadre. Or uh, if you are going with core non-tech, then you should have the distinction in it. Or if you are going with unit elective, then also you should have a distinction with it. So these are the combination. So in this slide, it is explained very easily. So you can see, guys, first you have to choose these two. Either you get the distinction in TSLP, or you get the distinction in DCA tech track. If you get the distinction in TSLP, then these are all the condition, all four arrows are there from the TSLP. So these are all the OR condition, and three arrows from the DCA tech distinction. So these are OR condition. Okay, I have explained you in previous slide. Now you can take the screenshot of that. Now let's go with next. Now Wings1 Innovator. If you want to be a Innovator cadre associate, then what is the eligibility first? So if you are TCS NQT digital cadre associate, or you are Wings1 DCA high talent associate, or you are Wings1 TSLP high talent associates with high work performance and learning completion. High work performance is same as I explained you earlier. Either you have a or B band, or if you are a fresher, then either you have 4 or 5 rating. And learning completion, there are three paths, which is learning completion path, direct path, and self-declaring competencies path. Now what rewards you will get? You will get incentives equivalent to Innovator cadre associates. Okay, you can check the incentive amount in Nomi or Nomax communities, or there are some pages. If you want, then I will share with you in comment sections. Just uh, reach to me, okay, with comments. Now associates must have the below tracks historically to acquire the Innovator milestone. What are the below tracks? These below are the in next slide. So associates must have the below tracks historically to acquire the milestone. So if you want to be an Innovator cadre associate, then these are the things that you should have with you, like one business skill with distinction you should have, one articulation with distinction you should have one process track with distinction, and apart from that, one TSLP tech DCA, one TSLP tech or DCA tech or unit elective distinction. Okay, and apart from these four, the innovator coding challenge is also there, which you have to give. And for the prerequisite for innovator coding challenge is one TSLP tech track with distinction. Okay, I have explained these 3 points, guys. So let's move with next slide. So time to gear up for the next August 22 proctored assessment cycle. So just note down or take up the screenshot of this slide. This is the very important slide. So 29 July 2022 is the learning cutoff date. Okay, so positively complete your respective tracks learning before the mentioned date if you are going with learning path. And the registration survey will be launched latest by the second week of July. Okay, so note down that the registration survey will be launched latest by the second week of July. No exceptions will be considered if an associate misses the registration deadline. So be notified. Okay, and uh, this is the important point. All August 22 proctored assessment will be in person at the depute location only. You have to be present at the depute location in order to give the proctored assessment. However, there is one exception. If you have selected the preferred location, some other preferred location in the registration survey, then they can give you accommodations to you. So you should speak to your respective SPOC for these things. Okay, now DCA syllabus will not be provided in this cycle also, so prepare holistically, prepare in broader manner. And the most important thing, ID card will be mandatory for next cycle, no exceptions. How you will get the ID card? Just be in touch or ask it with your supervisor or your manager. Okay, they will share all the details how you'll get the ID card. And no and new NOMI community will be created for August 22 proctored assessment cycle shown, and you all will be auto enrolled with that. And if you will not, in case, then just contact with your SPOCs. So these are all the things that was important and for the upcoming proctored exam August 22. So thank you guys. Please like my video and subscribe to my channel for such more updates. Thank you.